Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Kurak Badash. All praises, honor, glory, love, respect, faith, and power, and trust, and all credit to my Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and my Heavenly Big Brother, Yahweh Shah. Thank you so much for what you've done, what you're doing, and what you're going to do. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops of GMS, Great Millstone, who I learned from, and all the men scattered all over the world, teaching this truth and none but the truth in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh by Shema Rashad, trying to put a spiritual bug in you Hebrew Israelites' ears, you so-called blacks, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, Middle Indians, and you speckled birds. And what is a speckled bird? That be a Hebrew Israelite that look like some of the heathen nations, like for example, a Hebrew Israelite that look like a so-called white person, so-called Chinese person, etc., etc. Got some videos lined up with the economy and AI, and mostly just technology with AI. What else? The digital ID, robotics, pretty much a whole bunch of shit that Esau want to use to enslave your ass with. But in the same process, bringing down this economy to bring in a new way of a new monetary system, which is going to be digital. Anyway, I'm going to play these videos. I'm going to get into the scripture, my best ability, say whatever God say through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah, the Holy Spirit of Krahak Kadash, Lord, will it be on me? Let's get it.
GM CEO Mary Barra exclusively took us behind the scenes of the only Corvette factory in the world here in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
It's been the home of the Corvette for 45 years.
Opening up about the economy, affordability, jobs, and the future.
Consumers are currently facing a wave of economic anxiety. What are you seeing inside of General Motors? Are people pulling back on purchases? Are they falling behind on their auto loans?
We are really not seeing that as of yet. It's something that we watch carefully, but...
Hold on.
Affordability, jobs, and the future.
Consumers are currently facing a wave of economic anxiety. What are you seeing inside of General Motors? Are people pulling back on purchases? Are they falling behind on their auto loans?
We are really not seeing that as of...
She a liar. They seeing that shit.
Yet it's something that we watch carefully, but we are really proud of the fact that we have 6 models at General Motors that start under $30,000.
Yeah, they're electric. See, that's what they. I believe that's what they shifting to, electric. They trying to sell them cheap so they can get your ass into that shit. And a lot of these cars, they're cheap as hell, less than $30,000 because they packed full of all this surveillance technology to get your ass hooked and to take the bait or whatever, bite the bait.
People are still buying cars.
People are still buying cars.
And they're paying their bills on time.
And again, that's what we are seeing.
When gas
people buying cars, but they're paying too much for it.
prices start climbing, how long is it usually before you actually see an impact on the business and what customers buy?
It depends on what people think. So it's not just where the price is today, it's more how long do they think it's going to persist. And I think that is why we maybe aren't seeing a really strong reaction yet. When people need a new car, they need a new car.
Is there a tipping point in your mind, if this goes through the summer, through Memorial Day, potentially as far as Labor Day, and prices get near $5 or even surpass $5 a gallon? Does that concern you?
Of course it concerns me, because I know affordability is an issue for every American. And so we want to make sure that people have the opportunity to be able to afford what they need. That's why we focus on having affordable vehicles. But it is something that we're watching, because I think it speaks to the overall health of the economy, which is important for the country, important for jobs. And we hope that obviously the conflict in Iran ends as quickly as possible.
Top of mind for Barra is artificial intelligence and using it across all facets of her business.
There is this tremendous excitement around AI, but there's also a lot of fear, especially when it comes to jobs. How many jobs could AI replace at GM?
Well, I think sometimes people spend a lot of time figuring out what AI can replace, but they don't think about what's going to come and what it's going to enable.
It's gonna be glorious. It's gonna be beautiful.
And the new jobs.
Do you think AI will create more jobs than it does away with?
It's hard to predict right now what that balance.
She know it's gonna take away a lot of people, or get rid of a lot of people, or whatever.
Is going to be, but I think there are whole new careers that are going to be coming that no one has thought of yet.
One way the company thinks about the future.
Pretty much, yeah. There won't be no jobs for humans or people here in America. I'll just say it like that. Let me get a scripture on that. Ecclesiastes chapter, what is that? Isaiah chapter 19, verse 15. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, talking about America, because America's spiritual Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rust may do. So there won't be no jobs for high paying people or low paying. Pretty much, it won't be no jobs for anybody. Shit.
Is through new generations and training, including a years-long partnership with the Girl Scouts of America and a $50 million commitment to STEAM education.
We've had exposure to over 1 million Girl Scouts, giving them real-life examples of math and science, and I think will get their interest in something that means something to them.
The Girl Scouts here today getting to see firsthand how a Corvette engine is built and ask Bara questions.
What advice do you have for girls at my age?
I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but studying math and science really gave me a strong foundation where I could really, when I developed interest, I could really pursue it. And that's my big message to someone your age. Don't take yourself out of the running before you even start.
And here she is. In addition to her role as GM CEO, Bara sits on the boards of the Business Roundtable, Detroit Economic Club, and our parent company, Disney. And I asked her, as someone who leads 160,000 employees, what's the biggest thing she is looking for in new hires right now? She said it's curiosity, guys, because things are changing.
All right, whatever. Anyway, this shit going down. It's going down the drain. It's circling the drain. Whatever you want to call it, it's going into the septic tank. Let's get to this next video.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is
So here is a headline that landed last week. A Gartner study of 350 global business executives, all at companies with at least $1 billion in annual revenue, found that 80% of those who have piloted AI or autonomous technology have carried out workforce reductions. 80%, that is a staggering number. And if that's where the findings stopped, this would be a very short and very depressing video. But that is not where the findings stopped. The study also found that there was no correlation between those layoffs and higher returns on investment. The companies cutting staff because of AI were not the ones making money from AI. The companies actually seeing high return of investment were doing something different.
And I'm guessing her video, I'm pretty sure it's not going to just be talking about America and what's going on financially, and especially AI related shit. It's probably going to be talking about what's going on pretty much all over the world. So anyway, I just want to throw that out there.
Entirely, they were keeping their people and using
But I'm pretty sure most likely she's going to be talking about jobs in America. Even though she from the Netherlands, or she from Denmark or some shit. I don't know.
AI to make them more productive. Gartner's VP analyst, Helen Poitevin, put it very plainly, chasing value only through headcount reduction is likely to lead most organizations down a path of limited returns. So companies are firing people in the name of AI and it's not working. They're performing a human sacrifice to a god that didn't ask for one and isn't rewarding it. That raises an obvious question. Why are they doing it? My name is Elle, I have a PhD in computer science, and this is the kind of question I find it very difficult to leave alone.
And when she said that about a god and whatever, yeah, that's what they basically making, creating a god. It's an artificial pseudo god.
So let's get into it. A quick note before we go further, given some
And that god name is AI.
past comments on this channel, if your first instinct is to dismiss survey data, remember that this is the same statistical methodology that approved every medication you've ever taken. Gartner's sample of $350 billion companies uses the same representative sampling as clinical drug trials. Yes, I know it's not perfect, but dismissing it means dismissing the foundation most of modern science is built on, so let's engage with the data seriously. Now, why are companies laying people off if it's not generating returns? There seems to be a few things happening simultaneously. First, there is a genuine belief, not necessarily supported by evidence, but widely held, that AI can replace human workers at scale. Another gentler but equally accurate word for that is hope. The logic sounds intuitive. If a machine can do what a person does, you don't need the person. But the Gartner data suggests this logic is incomplete because it turns out the value of AI isn't in replacing human judgment, it's in amplifying it. The companies seeing the highest returns are the ones treating AI as a tool their employees use, not a substitute for having employees at all. Think of it less as we replaced the pilot with autopilot, and more we gave the pilot better instruments, and now the plane lands on time and nobody dies ever. Both are automation stories, only one of them ends well. Second, there's what Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, has described as AI washing. His argument is that some companies are attributing layoffs to AI when they would have made those cuts anyway. AI becomes a convenient narrative. It sounds strategic, it sounds forward-thinking, it sounds like you're positioning for the future, it sounds a lot better than we overhired during the pandemic and our CFO finally noticed. Now, Altman has his own motivations for saying this. He runs the most prominent AI company in the world and has an obvious interest in AI not being associated with mass unemployment. That's like the CEO of a fireworks company assuring you that the house fire was probably electrical. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying that when anyone, CEO, analyst, politician, literally anyone, makes a public statement, they have reasons for making it, and those reasons are not always the ones they state. That is not cynicism, it is just how information works. People have motivations. The truth is hard to get to, partly because people might not always be forthcoming, but also because even genuine beliefs change constantly as new data emerges. Which brings me to Daria Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic, the Claude people. Last year, he made a widely reported claim that AI could eliminate roughly half of white-collar entry-level jobs. This year, he walked that back, citing something called the Jevons paradox, which I'm going to explain in a moment because it's genuinely fascinating, and suggested AI might augment work rather than eliminate it, though he cautioned that AI is evolving faster than previous technologies and could produce different outcomes. So we've basically gone from half your jobs will disappear to actually maybe not, it's complicated, in about 12 months, which to be fair is also how long it takes most companies to finish an AI pilot program, so at least the timeline is consistent. Again, motivations exist. Amodei runs a company that builds AI and has a commercial interest in that technology being adopted widely, but the fact that two of the most prominent AI executives are now publicly moderating their predictions about job displacement is at minimum worth noting. Now, let's talk about the Jevons paradox because it's
Yeah, you gotta listen to the people that's involved in AI, so you'll know. I mean, like that question that woman asked in the first video, asked the CEO of, I think she's CEO of GM. I think so, but anyway, the CEO of GM, that woman, she couldn't give her a straight up answer. She just she knew the answer. She just tried to avoid it with some other kind of bullshit answer. But yeah, they know the answer, and if it's not AI, they firing people not necessarily based on AI. It might not be the case, but they still gonna want to fire people regardless because it's cost. You know, they like, fuck it. Why not? Might as well. It's a thing now. Eventually we'll have something to replace your ass. So you might as well get rid of you anyway. And matter of fact, we're not gonna be producing too much of shit anyway because nobody ain't gonna be buying this stuff. Really, it's gonna be too expensive and whatever. They're not giving a fuck. You know. Anyway.
one of those ideas that sounds counterintuitive but has been surprisingly durable. Back in 1865, an English economist named William Stanley Jevons observed something strange about coal. The steam engine had just become dramatically more efficient, meaning you needed less coal to produce the same amount of energy. You would expect, logically, that total coal consumption would decrease, but it didn't. It actually increased massively. Because when coal became cheaper and more efficient to use, people found more uses for it. New industries became viable, new applications emerged, the efficiency gains didn't reduce demand, they exploded it. The Victorians basically invented we'll save money by spending more 160 years before every SaaS company on earth independently rediscovered it. Apollo's chief economist Torsten Slok has argued that the same paradox now applies to AI. If AI makes certain types of work cheaper, faster, and more accessible, the demand for that work will not disappear, but rather it will expand. New applications emerge, new roles get created.
And when me doing these videos, it's not about promoting AI. I'm just thinking about it because somebody probably think I'm promoting AI, and I mean, no, I'm not. And I'm not even saying that AI is the shit or it's really effective. I mean, it's doing a better job than humans, and that's not even the case because there have been reports that say AI is failing. What they thought AI was gonna do is really failing, and it's a waste of fucking money. But he's a wasteful niggard, so he gonna keep wasting money, wasting material, wasting resources, just for the sake of ruling and trying to rule over people, which is pointless. Yeah. Anyway, I just want to say that.
New industries become viable that were not viable before. Is he right? I don't know. Nobody really does. But the early data is very interesting. Let's have a look at that. The World Economic Forum reports that AI has already created more than 1.3 million new jobs globally, including roles that either didn't exist or existed in negligible numbers before 2023. LinkedIn's 2026 Jobs on the Rise report ranked AI engineer as the #1 fastest growing job title in the United States, with job postings rising 143% year over year. 4 of LinkedIn's top 5 fastest growing positions are AI related. AI and machine learning job postings surged 163% from 2024 to 2025. And these are not just engineering roles, by the way. Prompt engineers design inputs for AI systems to produce reliable outputs. AI trainers evaluate and correct AI-generated content to improve model performance. AI governance specialists and model evaluators make sure the systems don't do something catastrophic. There is an entire ecosystem of roles emerging around the question of how to make AI systems work properly, roles that require human judgment, domain expertise, and contextual understanding that the technology itself doesn't have right now. 3 years ago, prompt engineer wasn't even a job title. Now it's one of the fastest growing positions in the market with an 135.8% growth rate. We have invented a technology so powerful that it requires a brand new profession dedicated entirely to asking it questions in the right way. That is either a breakthrough or the most expensive.
That's really it. That's the programming AI, the answer questions a certain way. So yeah, that's the only job that exists for man to get involved with AI. Just pretty much tweaking, doing little tweaks and shit. Somebody asked the wrong question. Let's change that.
autocomplete and history, and honestly, it might be both. Even the companies building AI models rely on enormous human workforces to train them. Data labeling companies like Search AI hit over $1.2 billion in annual revenue by connecting thousands of domain experts, doctors, lawyers, scientists, engineers, with AI labs that need human feedback to improve their models. The AI isn't training itself. It requires an invisible global workforce of people teaching it how to behave, which, if you really think about it, makes AI less like a brilliant new employee and more like a very expensive intern who keeps confidently doing things wrong until a senior person corrects them and teaches them better. Except the intern costs $4 billion and occasionally hallucinates. So the picture is more complex than AI takes everyone's jobs.
It's okay. I got you, buddy. Stay with me, Sticks.
AI is taking some jobs, AI is also creating new jobs, and nobody can really tell you yet which effect will be larger in the long run. That uncertainty is definitely genuinely uncomfortable, and I understand.
I don't really see no new jobs being created with AI. There's some people getting, they got like little gigs, or it's helping them with their job, their jobs of doing lunch servers, or even not lunch servers, some other stuff. They use AI for other things, which is cool, but when it comes to fucking anyway.
And why people find it frightening rather than reassuring. It might work out as not exactly a pension plan, but there isn't.
Like, you using AI to create artwork, and that's, I don't know what else can you use AI for to help you benefit your job. Anyway, especially like a small business. But shit, we don't have to worry about that much because there ain't nobody gonna be working.
Another dimension to this that I think deserves more attention, and it has to do with costs. There is a line that I came across that stuck with me a lot. Workers had salaries you could control, AI agents have costs you cannot. And the data backs this up, actually. AI operations fluctuate unpredictably.
So yeah, like I was saying, they spending a lot of money on this AI shit. Now they saying that they're gonna save money by using AI to do certain jobs, like when they say accounting. But you gotta think about the hardware involved when it comes to AI and the energy involved when it comes to AI. That's gonna be expensive. Let's just see what she got to say.
Unlike a salaried employee whose cost is fixed and known.
And it's fixed, yeah. And they take care of their own shit. They give themselves that energy. You know, they use the money to feed themselves, but then when it comes to AI, you got to get the water, you got to have the electricity, you got to have the hardware, and somebody to repair that hardware if it goes to shit. You got to pay for the shelter to keep the hardware protected, and you know, more maintenance involved. Anyway, and that's gonna be more money, and then you're gonna have lawsuits. Because people suffering through AI psychosis, all that dumb shit, whatever.
AI agent costs are tied to token consumption, API calls, cloud compute, and interaction volume, all of which vary and are difficult.
They all cause money.
To forecast. Integration costs regularly exceed initial estimates by 30 to 50%. The initial development of a production AI agent represents only 25 to 35% of what a company will spend over 3 years. The rest is tokens, infrastructure, security, monitoring, retraining, and a dozen other line items that weren't in the original proposal. One SaaS company, for example, discovered $280,000 in monthly unaccounted cloud spend from 23 undocumented AI services that various teams had spun up without centralized oversight. 23 rogue AI subscriptions, that is not exactly a technology strategy, it's more corporate haunting. And then there's vendor lock-in, companies that build their operations around a specific AI provider's ecosystem, their APIs, their models, their infrastructure, find themselves locked into that vendor, reducing flexibility and increasing long-term costs. You fire the person whose salary you negotiated annually, you replace them with a service whose pricing model changes quarterly at the vendor's discretion, and whose costs scale in ways you cannot predict until the invoice arrives. You swapped unknown costs for a mystery bill. Congratulations, you've automated your budget into a slot machine. This doesn't mean AI is a bad investment, by the way. The companies in the Gartner study that used AI for people amplification are seeing strong returns, but it does mean that the calculus of replace workers with AI to save money is far less straightforward than the pitch deck makes it sound. You're not exactly swapping a salary for a subscription. You're swapping a known cost for an unknown one and hoping the math works out. Here's where I want to bring it all together. AI was the leading reason cited for layoffs in March and April of 2026. Outplacement firm Challenging Gray & Christmas found that 49,135 jobs have been attributed to AI so far this year, nearly matching the entire total of 2025, and it's only May. Those are real people, real livelihoods. That number is not exactly abstract, but the Gartner study tells us those layoffs aren't generating the returns companies expected. The Jevons paradox suggests AI might create more work than it destroys. The job market data shows over 1 million new AI-related roles already created globally, and the cost data shows that replacing humans with AI isn't the clean savings exercise that the term automation implies. The word automation is doing an enormous amount of heavy lifting in boardroom presentations right now. It's carrying the entire pitch on its back while the actual numbers quietly file for workers' compensations. None of this, of course, means that everything is fine. People are losing their jobs right now, today, in this economy, and telling them the Jevons paradox suggests your suffering may be temporary is not exactly helpful when rent is due on the 1st. The pain of technological change is never distributed evenly. It never has been. We actually cover the parallels with the former Industrial Revolution in a separate video that I'm going to link in the description. Some industries will be hit harder than others. Some roles will disappear entirely. Some people would benefit enormously while others bear the cost. That is not a prediction about AI. It's just a description of how every major technological transition in history has played out. What the data does suggest is that the most productive path forward isn't replacing people with AI, it's rather combining them.
Combining them, adapting, merging them with a machine. Yeah, transhumanism, the chip implants, the mark of the beast.
Companies seeing the best results are not the ones firing the workforce, they're the ones
because they create a scenario where people at dire need of help, they lost their jobs, they ain't got no money to pay the bills, all this other shit's hardship. And Esau gonna be like, hey, this looks like a problem. Well, no shit, Sherlock, you the one that created it. But then the people gonna react to that problem. They need help. Esau gonna come along with this solution to help the people with a chip implant. The ones that go in your right hand, your left hand, or your feet, your butt cheeks, your titties, big titties, small titty, or man boobs. And most importantly, the one that goes in your brain, the brain chip. Yeah.
arming their workforce with tools that make them faster, sharper, and more.
That's a tool. Make you faster, smarter. Yeah, they're gonna. That's what they can promote when it comes to the chip implants or pretty much the chip implants.
More capable than either humans or.
I don't know if the damn chip gonna make you stronger, but it'll make you faster. I mean, smarter. Supposedly, allegedly, but shit, I ain't buying it, and I don't give a fuck about it.
Or AI could be alone. The God doesn't want your people, it wants a competent operator. But if the data says combining works, why are so many people still furious about AI? It's not because they haven't seen the data, it's because the data isn't really the point. I made a video exploring where that anger actually comes from and why it might be aimed at the wrong target. That's the one that I would watch next.
Well, let's get to the next one.
La terrasse. L'amour.
I guess I had to mute this shit. I can't skip the video. I tried to and it keep replaying. Anyway. That bitch chugging that damn bottle.
Commencement speech time, but one phrase proving wildly unpopular.
The rise of artificial intelligence is the next industrial revolution.
They about to start throwing on Rotten Tomatoes at your ass, bitch.
From a tech business executive.
Shit, soon these damn Americans gonna start throwing hot lead at these people. And what's his name? Larry Flink. He talking about the data centers. Pretty much anybody who has a say-so against data centers, they can be considered or ruled as a domestic terrorist. Just because you have an opinion against or something against a data center, it's making too much noise. You're a terrorist. That shit's putting off a funky odor. You're a terrorist. Meanwhile, don't people living right next to this fucking thing, and you're like thousands of miles away, flying in your jet and shit, going to the next meeting somewhere in some country, telling them that you're a terrorist because you don't like my data centers. That's some fucking shit. Esau's a nigger. And I'm talking about the elite, but hell, you low-level devils, y'all niggers too, shit. But Esau, the elite of the, so-called white man, but he ain't white, he's red, he's a baby dick sucking Jewish fucking nigger. Amalek, he a nigger. You're a damn devil.
To a music industry titan, AI clearly striking a sore spot.
AI is rewriting production as we sit here. Deal with it. Like I said, it's a tool.
Look at this nigga. He's like, deal with it. Deal with it. Ain't nothing you can do about it.
At the University of Arizona, former Google CEO Eric Schmidt faced loud jeers on the topic.
The question is whether you will help shape artificial intelligence. We do not know.
What is up with this shit? It's like a trend now. All these CEOs coming to speak on behalf of AI at these graduations. Nobody ain't studying that fucking shit. They already know they're fucked. Hell, you should. If you in the truth, you should already know that there ain't gonna be no jobs. And you in, I don't know, anyway.
The speaker choice was controversial from the get-go. Some students launching a petition to replace Schmidt in part because he's been accused of rape and sexual assault.
Oh, ouch.
By a former girlfriend in a lawsuit currently under arbitration. NBC News has reached out to Schmidt for comment but have not heard back, but he has denied the allegations in the past.
Oh, that's that same guy that was speaking with Larry Flink and Fink and some other crap. Yeah, I think that's the same guy. I think he was in Davos. Or was it Davos? World Economic Forum? Some faggoty ass get together these niggas do.
It's going to touch everything else as well. Whatever path you choose, AI will
Whatever path you choose, hold on.
become part of how.
When it comes.
Wow, whatever path you choose, AI will be a part of. That pretty much saying that you ain't got a snowball chance in hell to find a job anywhere. Shit. Only thing you'll be I don't know. I mean, shit. That's why they gonna have UBI for a lot of people, bro. They gonna set up UBI, so then that's gonna be slave labor camps. They bring in these China manufacturing plants over to America. And yeah, that's what they were talking about with Trump was wanting to bring China manufacturing plants over here. Whatever happened to American building? Well, people gonna be building American stuff over here like it's China. But where's the American made stuff? What stuff will be made here in America? Owned by Chinese companies. But it's gonna be made by Americans. Yeah. But damn, they played a good one on you, Americans, boy. They played a good one on these devils. Played a good one on you, you damn Americans. Thought y'all gonna get y'all fucking way, and America gonna bounce back, and there's a hell to the no.
To artificial intelligence and Gen Z, more than half say they use it regularly, according to a recent survey. But a third say the tech makes them feel angry, and nearly half say the risks of AI in the workforce outweigh the benefits.
If you'd let me make this point, please.
Yeah, no, they gonna start throwing bullets at your ass. Might as well say it. Hot lead or something. Rock sticks. These people are not giving a fuck about these people. That's sedition among men and invading one another. Because these tech people are your new rulers. They come forward saying that we are your government now. We're going to use AI to govern your monkey ass. And ain't nothing you can do about it unless you throw some hot lead at their ass. Shit. Or a drone. Yeah, man. They're going to be calling people domestic terrorists. And I mean, yeah, I mean, rightfully so. You've taken their jobs. Such and such, but it's all about the plagues, man. That's all it is. The plagues of Yahweh Shah breaking this sinful kingdom down. Anyway, and this whole world using these devils. Esau, even so-called white man, but he ain't white. He's raising his baby dick sucking Jewish faggot nigga. Amalek.
A workforce wary of what lies ahead. Valerie Castro, NBC News.
Well, we know what's going to be lying ahead. Nothing. There's just darkness, evil. Let me get to a scripture on that. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, they be your people that's keeping the financial systems running. Pretty much, it ain't going to be running no more. Well, they'll be running down to the ground. But anyway, and their strong men shall bow themselves in the grinder seats because they are few, the lack of work. And those that look out the windows be dark. And I'm going to start right there. What? Yeah, I'm going to start right there, but this the point what I wanted to read was those that look out the windows be dark. And yeah, it's going to be a grim future for America and all around the world, especially with this AI shit, and they want you to adapt and merge with machine and AI, and how they going to do that with the chip implant, of course. The mark of the beast. Next video. Goodness gracious, another one. The shit. Another ad. The same damn shit. She guzzling that shit down.
Terrasse.
You might call them wayward Waymos, one after another driverless taxis. streaming into several Atlanta cul-de-sacs at virtually all hours of the day and night.
So as more were coming
Wow. Leave the world behind.
in, more were going out. It was just a constant.
Remember that scene with all them damn driverless what them damn things? Teslas. They were controlled remotely. I don't know about what's up with this shit here. But I'm just saying they're going to be using driverless cars, any kind of brand, make, or model, and they're going to use them motherfuckers as a weapon.
Stream of
Or some kind of way to create confusion.
Of coming in around the circle.
After roughly 50 of them showed up last weekend, the annoyed neighbors put out a traffic turtle, but that only led to longer backups.
One of them almost did run over our cul-de-sac cat, Buddy, and so that.
Yeah, they didn't pick that sensor, that thing.
That was the final straw.
The robo-taxis appear to be in a holding pattern, waiting for their next assignment. Waymo tells NBC News it has already worked with our partner to address this routing behavior. It's the latest Waymo speed bump, coming just days after the company recalled nearly 4,000 robo-taxis for software fix, after some cars in Texas and California drove into...
Hold on, how can you recall 4,000... Where do these niggas get this money from? You know damn well. It's Rothschilds. But how can you recall, like you physically recall these vehicles? The software fix, and most of the time they fixing them. It ain't gotta be physically fixed by plugging in something into the update the damn software. They just do it by wirelessly updating the firmware or whatever.
To flooded streets and stalled. In recent years, Waymos have also failed to yield to school buses and caused rush hour gridlock.
Nothing we are doing today with automated vehicle technology is safe enough. It's got to be better tomorrow. And that is the change in trajectory we need for vehicle safety in America today.
But guess what? These motherfuckers gonna still have these things on the streets. And some states, I believe, is illegal, like California. Of all states, California could see, but you know that's gonna change. You know damn well California wouldn't mind having this shit. I don't know why they got this shit illegal. This shit should be banned, but hey man, whatever. It's part of something anyway.
Says it's already identified a software fix.
Look at this shit here. AI is doing such a great job
for the flooding issue, and it's refining its operations in extreme weather. And
oh yeah, remember that time? When was that? It was months ago. Earlier this, or sometime out this year, there was an outage in California. Yeah, they do have self-driving cars in California. They are legal. I'm tripping, because they started off, the Waymos started off over there. Man, I'm tripping. I don't know why I said that. But I remember some part of California, or multiple cities, or just in one city, I think it was hundreds of thousands of people out of power. The grid was down, and these things were blocking the streets. They were stopped. They weren't going nowhere. They went, hell, I bet you they'll go somewhere. Somebody got one of those industrial forklifts, haul that motherfucker off the road. They'll be going somewhere then. Heck yeah. Or push this motherfucker off the road if you got like a dump truck. They'll be moving out the way then. Or a tow truck or whatever. Anyway.
It's 13 times safer than humans in crashes involving...
What? It's 13 times more safer to drive or to ride in this thing instead of riding with a human.
It's in extreme weather and...
Yeah, he's out to give you all kind of bullshit.
Says it's 13 times safer than humans in crashes involving pedestrians. Tom?
Esau's a damn... He a piece of shit. Little lying ass nigga. Let's see what this is about. Dark factories in China could shift modern manufacturing. Yeah, they're gonna be copying the same. When it comes to surveillance, let's look at what's China doing first. America gonna do last, or second, or whatever. But shit, they gonna do that same damn thing when it comes to surveillance, credit score, digital IDs. What else? Even shit. There's all this shit. Autonomous warehouses. Let's get it.
President Trump is back at the White House following his summit in Beijing with Chinese President Xi Jinping.
He got done kissing them butt cheeks, puckering up on them cheeks.
Jinping. Now, while traveling back to the U.S., President Trump said Boeing reached a deal to sell at least 200 planes to China. It's a breakthrough for the aircraft company, which has been at the center of the president's efforts.
And y'all people thought this guy is all about America. America this, America that. Shit.
To reinvigorate American manufacturing. Before the summit, CBS's Anna Coren got access to a Chinese factory, which offers a very different picture of what
well, but it's funny. How is this bringing manufacturing to America, but then eventually these niggas about to go to war with one another. Yeah, these niggas about to go to war with one another. So you can count that manufacturing shit out.
Manufacturing could look like.
Inside a cavernous industrial building on the outskirts of Zhuhai, southern China, sits a factory of the future. Hundreds of yellow robotic arms move in sync along an assembly line, putting together thousands of components to build an air conditioning unit every 10 seconds. Owned by Gree, China's largest producer of air conditioners, this is what's known as a dark factory, operating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, controlled by AI.
A factory of this size normally employs around 10,000 people. This one has only 1,000, of which roughly a third are engineers. This is where machines...
People that come to fix things that's jammed or glitched or whatever the fuck. Maintenance people.
Replacing humans.
This is the nerve center of the operation. Giant screens showing instant data of warehouse production, global sales and delivery.
Is this the future for manufacturing?
Yes, he tells me. This is what future intelligence factories will look like with AI-supported robots everywhere. 60% of production is exported overseas. These units will be heading to North America. In fact, Gree has been advertising in Times Square. China already accounts for roughly 30% of global manufacturing output. That's expected to rise to almost 50% in the next 4 years.
And you don't see many workers. There's not that many people here.
I think in the future, physical work will get less and less, he tells me. But the skills of workers to maintain AI equipment will grow. President Trump has just returned from a high-stakes summit in Beijing, where he met with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Trump said China would be making investments in the US as part of his plan to help reindustrialize.
And they're gonna be putting factories in that bitch too. And shit, soon you're gonna be working low wages like the Chinamen or Moab over in China.
Industrialize America. But if the president is hoping to bring blue-collar jobs back to the US, that ship may have well and truly sailed.
But wait a minute. What about our own companies? How come our own companies can't bring jobs to America? Why come our own companies can't do that? And what happened? You got other countries that's bringing jobs here, but they reneged on that shit. They said, I changed their mind, like Volkswagen or Apple. That's American made or American company. Samsung, that's a South Korean company, but they said they was gonna build something over here, but they changed their mind. There was some other companies, but they all changed their minds. But anyway, I know the Lord ain't gonna change his mind destroying this bitch, and he's doing that right as I speak. Right now, as these people here making plans and kissing butt cheeks, and Trump puckering up the Chinese butt cheeks, they goddamn the Lord tearing his world down. These people thinking they about to build something new with AI, robots, and speaking of robots and with all that shit. No, the Lord's about to get ready to eviscerate or destroy this place. Not the whole world, but I'm just saying the plans of the wicked, these heathens. Why do the heathen rage and imagine a vain thing? Is all pointless. That's one sorry ass American. He's like, hey, give me a drink. Then nigga brought the whole fucking refrigerator. I know it's all rehearsed. I seen the making of this shit. It was corny. Here you go, right here, 5 minutes of it. I ain't playing that shit. I played it, but I was like, it's only a making of it. But what I about to say, he could have got his sorry ass on up. That's typical sorry American. Could have got up, got his drink out of the refrigerator. But see, this damn thing ain't gonna be used as just a servant. It's gonna be used as a weapon too. This motherfucker, he'll probably go haywire and lift the refrigerator and Donkey Kong that nigga upside his head with that shit. That whole refrigerator. Yeah. Be like how many times they had to rehearse that shit many times. Anyway, I mean, I don't think AI is that. Now, one thing about AI that AI robots be good at is killing people. That's it. Doing all this other shit, they probably the only thing they good at. Because Esau trained AI robots to kill people the most. And you're going to see a lot of that shit happening. Jacob Trouble going down. I'm talking a lot of random stuff, but it's a lot of stuff that's, hey man, that's spirit on me. Because we expecting stuff like this to happen. We expecting this shit to be shown. And we be like, hey, we told you people this stuff, and hey, y'all didn't listen. But anyway, you ultimately didn't listen to Yahweh Shema Shaka. This message is coming from them. Let's get to this last video about digital ID.
Well, the United Kingdom's total clampdown on freedoms is almost complete with the rollout of the digital ID. Something very important just happened in the UK, and of course it barely got any attention in the mainstream media, totally ignored. Of course, if you go to any of the major newspapers, the BBC, MSNBC, CNN, anywhere, you're not going to see it. During the King's speech, King Charles read out the government's new legislative agenda, which included this digital ID nugget. Listen.
My ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize how citizens interact with public services.
Yeah, but keep you niggas in check, pretty much. Keep you in check when you got that chip implant.
Okay, so in order to interact with public services, you need a digital ID. I guess your public service.
I mean, the digital ID comes in different forms. First off, to say, because it can start off with your cell phone, because they trying to promote it with that, but they ain't gonna be good enough for Esau. Then they'll say a card, but they ain't good enough for Esau, so they gonna have to go with deeper than that. It's chip implant underneath your skin. That's going to be your real digital ID, but biblically known as the mark of the beast, or the final stage, the final form of the digital ID.
Services are unavailable to you if you don't take this digital ID. Interesting. So they're moving forward with this digital access to services bill, creating the legal framework for this digital ID. UK officials presenting it as voluntary, of course, convenient and secure. It's all about your safety. But critics, of course, warn that this architecture is a piece of a much larger control system. Joining us now is Jim Ferguson. He's been warning about exactly this: digital ID, state surveillance, and what happens when governments begin tying basic public services to centralized digital identity. He's an independent commentator, founder of Freedom Train International. Jim, always great to see you here. Thank you so much for joining us. Your response to the King's message. I mean, hearing this come out of the King's mouth, it really struck a nerve.
Yeah, it did as well. Wonderful to be on with you guys again. But yeah, this is something that has certainly caught a lot of people's attention. I reported on this earlier on today, and it's started to go viral. So this is where the King has said that he is expecting his ministers, his government, to introduce and push forward with the digital ID. So the question is not if digital ID is coming, it certainly is. The real question is how far is it going to go?
That is the big question. How far will this go? And
underneath your skin. That's as far as it's gonna get. It's gonna get into your skin. Either it's gonna be in your right hand, or in your left hand, or in your feet, or your butt cheeks, or your titties, big titties, small titties, or in your man boobs, and most importantly, in your forehead. Because that's where they really want to have it, in your brain. That's as far as it's gonna go, or deep it's gonna go.
You have petitions signed by millions of people across the UK. The Do Not Introduce Digital ID cards. This was even closed on January 9th. Take a look at your screen here. We demand that the UK government immediately...
That card shit is bull crap. They gonna want chip implants inside you. Because then it won't be, hey, it's inside of you. Well, come on, man. You know the devil. If you know the devil well, he won't want something inside of you. He ain't gonna want you to have a card or a phone. You stupid as hell. Oh, praise y'all by Shemal Shad. Why do y'all by Shemal Shad? Just seeing something that said 144. But it's stupid as hell how people would think that they won't give you an ID that's physical. No, they going doing something that rarely being done. It's gonna be inside of you. I don't give a fuck if it ain't popular. They gonna get it inside of you by attacking your food supply, the water, cutting off the grid on your ass, making life a living hell for you. In order you bend the knee to this nigga system, yeah, that's how they gonna get you to get that chip implant, man. If you have Yahweh Shema Shah, you ain't gotta worry about anything. You ain't gotta worry about anything. Cause sometimes I forget about what do we do? Like somebody asks you, well, if we don't take the chip, then what do we do? How do we avoid from it? Well, you got to seek the Lord and try to build a spiritual mental relationship with him. Repent, do the best you can do. That's the only way. And as an Israelite, man, woman, or child, you have to be a Hebrew Israelite. It ain't no color thing. It ain't not being no so-called black, Latino, Hispanic, Native Indian. But the majority of the Israelites are those people. But then you have Israelites that look like some of the heathen nations. Like somebody who look like a so-called white person, Chinese person, an African booty-scratching person. Yeah, because there's two different type of Africans. One that's a true African, a Hamite, and one is not a true African, but born in Africa, calling themselves, ignorantly calling themselves an African, but they actually an Israelite. But then also you're going to have other people of other nations that's born in Africa that's calling themselves African, like Moab, or either what his name, Esau, the African booty scratching Edomite Esau. Yeah, and then you're gonna have, like I say, you're gonna have speckled birds, Israelite, that look like the other heathen nations. Anyway, back to the video.
Commits to not introducing a digital ID card, and millions of people signed this, but they're not listening to those people at all. What were their concerns?
Well, their concerns are about intrusion, a loss of privacy, a loss of autonomy, because this is going to affect taxation, it's going to affect medical records, it's going to affect everyday life.
It's going to affect everything and how you move in society.
As soon as they get this through.
That's why hey man, it's best for you to get your mind right and spirit right and leave the world behind. Get ready to lose everything.
Everything changes. And of course, let's not forget about CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, which are going to be a close second coming in after the digital ID legislation gets through. But right now, the UK government is in absolute free fall. We are witnessing a Prime Minister who is effectively shutting himself away in number 10, won't talk to anyone because the knives are out by members of his own party. We've seen 4 cabinet ministers resign, and he is now looking very much like a dead man walking. But the biggest problem, Clayton, is that whoever takes up the reins from him is going to be just as bad, if not worse. So digital ID is coming. People need to be prepared for that. They need to understand exactly what that means. But it's major loss of privacy, and it gives the unaccounted bureaucrats and the elites absolute control and power over everyday citizens, and that's far too much power to be handed over lightly. So I think there's a lot of concerns sparked by the King's address today.
There are people with power, people like yourself, who have been outspoken against this, people like Nigel Farage, the leader of the Reform UK.
Oh yeah, that nigga, that's a puppet. Control opposition, nigga.
He came out today and delivered this message saying, absolutely, we do not support this. Take a listen.
So the Prime Minister says we must have digital ID. That's the way we'll stop.
These same people talk about we oppose or they're against digital ID, but they're all support of the genocide of. I don't give a fuck about those people. I mean, they my slaves, but you know what's wrong. You should call it out. I call out whatever's wrong, you know what I'm saying, and I call it like there's an atrocity going on. I call it out, but they not my people. Some people, like I say, go back to the speckled birds. You gonna have Israelites that look like the heathens that's over there getting bummed and all that shit, but not all. The majority of them are speckled birds. But my point is, these devils that talk about they're against digital ID, and oh yeah, that was that channel. I guess they consider to be a right-wing channel, conservative channel, GBN News. I think they UK or some shit like that. But anyway, that channel there, and there's another one, Sky News, I believe. But they talk about they're against digital ID, but when it comes to the small hat people, they support the small hat people. But them the small hat people, the main ones is pushing this digital ID. This their shit to control you, goyim, you cattle. It's the Amalek shit, Esau Amalek shit. the top of the elite ruling class of Esau, Edom, Amalek. It's their shit. And they want to put a microchip inside your ass. They're the ones that want to consider yourself or call you a domestic terrorist. Larry Flink, he a small head nigger. Amalek or Amalekite. Yeah, that nigga there talking about some anybody who's against AI, and damn sure anybody who's against digital ID should be called a terrorist, be looked at as a terrorist, and need to be arrested or put to death. Pretty much, yeah. That's what it's coming down to. Oh yeah, these niggas gonna be shit. That's why we telling you people now before it's too late, man. I got some dust on my keyboard. I gotta clean the damn table off and it's all my shit. But yeah, man, it's coming down to it, man. It's getting there.
Illegal immigration. Well, think about it. Germany has ID cards, strict ID, and checks. It's made no difference.
Yeah, they got ID cards, but Sweden, they got digital ID. I mean, they got chip implants. Yeah, they got chip implants. And soon that shit gonna be scattered all over the world.
In Germany, and nor will it here. All that digital ID will be is a means of controlling the population, of telling us what we can and can't do, of finding the innocent. And didn't we see it all when we had the pandemic, when you had to have vaccine ID to travel, to do various things? Did that stop the COVID pandemic spreading? Did it? Hell, all it did was put cost and inconvenience on everybody else. I also worry about massive data banks being held by the government, being hacked by foreign governments, by private companies.
Now, you know, it's funny. You don't hear a lot about data centers being built over in the UK or anywhere else outside of America. It's always America that has the issue with the data centers. But, I mean, data centers, there's always been data centers existing since for like 20, 30 years, 40 years or something like that. I won't say 40 years, but it's always been data centers. But now these bitches is being thrown up from left and right. I mean, they getting thrown up like it's a Walmart. I remember back then how Walmart ain't building Walmarts anymore. They building them up like they are Walmarts now. Because I remember when Walmart started gaining traction around the 80s or the 90s. Them suckers were just throwing up Walmarts from left and right. Boom, 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 boom. And then after Walmarts come, they taking all the old small businesses away. Mom and pop stores and places.
By criminals. I do not see a single benefit to the government having digital ID other than them controlling what we do.
Well, yeah, it's a benefit for them, but not a benefit for the cattle, the goyim, the regular people.
We spend and where we go, and we in Reform are wholly opposed.
No, they'll throw out some benefit. They'll say that you don't have to worry about opening up the door unless it's one of those doors that you got whatever. You don't have to buy. You don't have to worry about carrying your car keys or carrying cash with you, because everything will be in your hand with that chip. Yeah, that's the only benefit they'll talk about. Or if you lost, they'll be able to find you because you got that chip implant, because it's a GPS tracking. It's a tracking device.
In every.
But also shit, goddamn, they can snatch your ass up if you get out of line and kidnap you or whatever. Yeah, they can use it for that. That's not no benefit.
No way.
Anything you disagree with there, Jim, or 100%?
Absolutely. I'm 100% agreement in what he's saying in regards to digital ID. And of course, I think that, as I said to you...
Alright, I ain't gonna play no more of this. How much? It's 53 minutes. I thought this video would be shorter, but I've been talking a lot. But I gotta say what I gotta say. Anyway, if you wanna watch the rest of the video, they go to the title of the video, they go to the channel. But yeah, man, digital ID is it's gonna be lining up with this AI shit, and it's ultimately the chip implant, the mark of the beast. I mean, digital ID comes in different forms, but it's gonna final form is gonna be the implantable microchip, the mark of the beast. Yep, and they're gonna use AI to rule over your ass, control things. So hey, it's coming, man. So seek the Lord by seeking his prophets and take heed what it say. Let me read the scripture. Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3. For the vision is yet for the appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And what won't tarry? Prophecies, the visions the Lord given to the prophets of Yahweh Shema Shah, starting with GMS camp, and there's other camps, be speaking the true doctrine of Yahweh Shema Shah and getting the visions. and making it plain for people to understand what's going on. And plus, everything is speaking loud and clear. What these devils are talking about, we're saying it. We was prophesying this stuff, and now these devils coming out showing you that, hey, things are lining up. Bible prophecies lining up, and it ain't lying. The Lord ain't no lie. No, He's telling the truth. It's nothing but the truth. And that's how we want to be, telling the truth to you people. You Israelites, telling you to repent and seek the Lord and get ready for this shit to go down, but it's about to go down. And it ain't going to slow down. It ain't going to tarry. It ain't going to delay. So brace yourself. Spiritually, mentally, brace yourself. Yeah. Seek the Lord by seeking His prophets and take heed to what to say and try to build a spiritual mental relationship with Yahweh Shema Shah by praying Yahweh Shema Shah, praising Yahweh Shema Shah, worshiping Yahweh Shema Shah, fearing Yahweh Shema Shah, and repenting to Yahweh Shema Shah. To all the men out there pushing this truth for nothing but the truth in the name, spirit, and power of Yahweh Shema Shah. Keep on preaching, keep on teaching, keep your faith and trust on Yahweh Shema Shah and stay humble. And for you few sisters out there taking heed, keep your faith and trust on Yahweh Shema Shah. Stay humble, stay in order with your man. If you ain't got no man, stay in order Yahweh Shema Shah. Peace and bless to the hopeful elect and all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Shalom.